Feel like so many people have issues within their marriage simply because they do not understand this one thing. As somebody who's currently married and spends a lot of time talking to women, both single and married, and works a lot in the sphere of ministry for women, well, I'm here to tell you that unfortunately, for some reason, a lot of women have this understanding that marriage is supposed to bring you happiness. And of course, I agree that marriage should bring you happiness, and marriage is about, happy moments together and having a good time with each other. But at the end of the day, that's not the ultimate purpose of marriage. Ephesians 5:31 to 32 tells us marriage should be a reflection of Christ's love for us. What is Christ's love is like? It's not only, to bring us happiness, but it's rather about commitment. And Christ, how does he love his church? He doesn't just want to make his church happy, but rather holy. Marriage is that one place where we get to live with a person and go through all kinds of conversations and events through which we can become better, through which our characters can, develop and grow. We can see that these biblical principles about marriage are written in thousands, if not millions, of all kinds of books on self-growth, on relationships, applied in therapy, applied in counseling, whether you're Christian or not Christian, the principles remain the same. God knows what is truly best for us within the marriage. When we talk about happiness within the marriage, I don't feel happy, I don't feel fulfilled. We are in this position of being a victim where we say, I want to be fulfilled by somebody else. But at the end of the day, that person that we expect so much from is just as human as we are. They are not God, they are not Jesus. And if we've idolized our partner to the point where we see them as, this almighty person that can do anything for us, well, unfortunately, that is not the case. And that is our problem, that we've idolized them in the first place. But the good news is that it's never too late to come back and to be that one person who offers that unconditional love no matter what. Just like Christ has offered us this unconditional love and forgiveness for everything we've done and continue to do, even though we claim ourselves to be Christians, he calls us to also exercise this love with our partner, no matter, how miserable they may be at the moment, no matter, how disgusted we may be with them, or how upset we may be with them. God calls us to that. Of course, the Bible also outlines very clear boundaries of when we shouldn't just be, putting up with whatever our partner is doing, and that is adultery, that is abuse, that is addictions, and this is when we should seek help. This is when we should, safety first, and we shouldn't neglect that. But otherwise, if you find forgiveness within yourself to forgive the other, even for these things, I really recommend that you do this through counseling, that you do this by, speaking to others about this, professionals or your pastor or counselor, whoever, therapist, about this. If you're experiencing either of the three, do not go through this decision alone. Seek counsel. But if your partner is not doing any of these things, and they're just not fulfilling your needs, this is where your unconditional love comes in. And I know this sounds, super kind of holy and maybe even superficial in a way, but that is the reality of marriage. And if you're married yourself, you can testify this in the comments also, that you are not able to just stay your ugly self within your ugly character when you're in marriage. Your character really grows. It's iron sharpening iron. It's, yes, two mature individuals coming together, but also you guys are a team where you are also helping each other grow. And how you grow is really up to you. Do you grow in love together? Because difficult conversations will happen. Genuine conversations need to be there. You will face some struggles. For those that are not married, get ready. You might have some tough situations that you have to deal with. But that is what truly partnership is about. You're there to help each other, but you're not just focusing your entire life on creating this beautiful marriage and, just fulfilling each other. No, you have a great calling in your life, you and your partner, and ultimately you two have this empire together where you're just, are teammates, and great things can happen through your guys' marriage. And when two mature individuals come together with this understanding that they are ready to give rather than receive, That is just a beautiful exchange. It's like a win-win in a partnership, you know? I don't really like comparing marriage to a business deal or anything like that, but it's a partnership where one party gives something and the other does as well. But there will be moments in marriage, and that's what makes marriage different from all kinds of partnerships, where you might be the one pouring out momentarily or for a long period of time the most. But guess what? That love comes back. It says in the word that what we sow, we reap. I know so many marriages that were restored from such difficult situations just because one party did not give up. Seriously, guys, these are real stories. And in my life, there were moments when I was thinking, well, my husband is such an amazing person. Why is he like this right now? Why is he so rude to me? Or why does he not understand me right now? Or, I'm doing all of this for him, and why can't he do all this? But when I look beyond myself, I actually realize that he's doing so much. And I take so many of these things for granted. This is when we come together and have these open and genuine conversations. Yes, they're not easy. And a lot of times I was kind of, neglecting these conversations. I was like thinking that it's a waste of time because this wasn't something that I was doing in my family or saw my family do. But guess what? You grow through these conversations. You get to hear the other person's need. You get to hear what they need, and you get to also voice out what you need. It's really the communication that you need to have. But it's not just communication. It's also really patience, self-control, all the fruits of the Holy Spirit. Because while you can have this conversation, tomorrow this person can once again burst in their emotions at you or at something, and once again you think, oh, nothing works, oh, blah blah blah. And it takes faith to believe in the person, and first and foremost to believe that God is doing something within their heart. And the beautiful thing is that as you're growing your character within the marriage is just, like a natural process, you're growing in other areas as well. You're growing maybe in your business or in your ministry or with other relations around you, because your character is automatically growing, and you're automatically becoming this better person. There's all kinds of couples that I speak to, and the couples that realize this early on are truly happy in their relationships. It doesn't mean that they don't face difficulties within their marriage or outside of their marriage, because really a lot of times people experience individual, problems or within their marriage is because society affects that marriage. Things happen around us. Society, has all kinds of changes, and it's not a secret that these circumstances around our marriage can impact us. And it is our job as two mature individuals within that marriage who chose each other in the first place, who one day really, looked at each other and said, I love you so much, and I want to be with you for the rest of my life, and committed ourselves at that altar and said through thick and thin, I'm your ride or die. When difficult moments happen in marriage, all these kind of lies come in our head that, oh, they're this, or, people change, and that's the reason to divorce. No. People do change, people do grow, circumstances can impact us. But at the end of the day, it is our choice to remain faithful to our partner. And because marriage is a covenant, whether you agree with this or not, whether you're Christian or not, it is very clear that a marriage is a promise. It's not just a contract, it's a covenant blessed by God. If you're complaining about your marriage, ask yourself, do you pray at least once a day for your husband, for your marriage? Because I know that God can turn things around. I know that prayer works. And people across the world, Christian and not Christian, they say that these things work. So who we are as Christians not to do these things when we have answers in front of us. Let's start applying these principles and see how God will work through our marriage, not only for the purpose of benefiting our marriage and our union and those around us in our community, but the whole world. And you will see how much impact you two will start making in the areas that God has called you to, whether you two have different callings, but all in all, you two are together in one. You guys are a team. There's a reason God said that the two will become one. And even if you're doing different things, even if, let's say, you're a stay-at-home mom, or you're a business owner and your husband is doing something else, or you're involved in ministry but in different fields, or you're doing the same thing, doesn't matter what it is, whatever you're doing, you will never regret putting each other first and really working on your marriage and investing in your marriage. And if you need some books on this, let me know. I have so much material I can share on this topic, because this is so important, and I don't know why we neglect this area of our lives. I really hope that this video encouraged you today. Let me know your story. Share down below your testimony of marriage. Maybe something really spoke to you, or you want to follow up on something. Let me know down in the comments below. And without further ado, I bless you and I bless your marriage. And I really encourage you right now to go and text or tell your loved one, hey, I really love you for who you are. Thank you for everything. And see what they reply.